Welcome to The Explainer, the evolutionary laboratory. Today, we're diving headfirst into how deep time, perfect isolation, and some seriously violent geology shape completely unique, almost alien worlds. We're heading to a place that essentially broke all the rules of nature, and we're going to see exactly how it pulled it off.
88 million. Yeah, let that number sink in for a second. That is the staggering number of years ago a massive chunk of Africa broke free and just drifted alone into the vast Indian Ocean. I mean, that immense amount of time in perfect isolation completely transformed this landmass into what we now know as Madagascar. It became a world completely unto itself, a place where life took evolutionary paths you literally won't find anywhere else on the planet.
And honestly, the result of all that ancient isolation? It's best described as a fever dream painted by gods. It's a surreal world filled with creatures that simply don't exist anywhere else, and a geography that completely defies all logic.
Chapter 1. The Island Forgotten by Time.
32,000. That is the amount of water, in liters, held within a single trunk of a baobab tree. These ancient, massive giants basically look like they were planted upside down, right? With their thick trunks ballooning toward the sky and their root-like branches reaching for heaven. They act as massive, living water tanks. If you were to tap just one of these trunks, you could literally fill an entire swimming pool. They are the ancient survivors of this land, with some standing watch for well over 1,000 years.
Now, to really grasp how strange this story is, we have to zoom way out and look at deep time. For 88 million years, the island just floated freely. 60 million years ago, the DNA of its most famous residents, the lemurs, diverged from the rest of the world. But then, in a mere blink of an evolutionary eye, just 2,000 years ago, humans showed up. And compared to the slow, steady march of deep history, humanity's arrival was incredibly disruptive, transforming what were vast tropical forests into the open landscapes we see today.
Okay, as if upside-down trees weren't bizarre enough, imagine nature's own razor wire, the tsingy. We're talking about limestone blades towering 70 meters high, forming this endless, razor-sharp labyrinth. It looks like the earth simply cracked open and bared its teeth. To cross this landscape today, you have to rely on precarious rope bridges swaying in the wind, which, let's be honest, requires sheer faith to step across. For generations, this place was considered too dangerous and haunted for anyone to even approach.
Section 2. Evolution's Strange Playground.
So, in this crazy environment, evolution acted as a highly creative problem solver. Just look at the incredibly distinct personalities among the lemurs. You've got the ring-tailed lemurs, who are the ultimate sunbathers, the sifakas, whose legs are built strictly for leaping through trees, so when they actually hit the ground, they become these sideways hoppers, like nature's own bizarre ballet troupe. You've got the bamboo lemurs, full of nervous energy, and the red ruffed lemurs, who just drape themselves over branches like living velvet cushions. Oh, and then there's the ii. This incredible creature uses its skeletal finger to tap on wood, acting like a biological sonar to find grubs hidden in dark hollows. I mean, it is pure evolutionary genius.
But hey, lemurs aren't the only ones mastering this playground. You've got to check out the chameleon's arsenal. Madagascar is actually home to half of the world's chameleon species, and their hunting tools are absolutely mesmerizing. They have independent eyes scanning a full 360 degrees, which means they have zero blind spots. None. When they lock onto a target, their tongue fires out twice the length of their own body, way faster than the human eye can even track, hitting with the laser-guided accuracy of a missile.
Now, in a paradise filled with such highly specialized, totally unique creatures, you might be wondering, who keeps the balance? Enter the fossa. This is Madagascar's apex predator. It is a silent ghost hunting through the canopy. Since Madagascar doesn't have lions or tigers, evolution had to create its own specialized top predator. The fossa is elusive, it's deadly, and it's absolutely crucial. It's the very reason this isolated paradise still has natural rules.
Chapter 3. The Human Equation.
Which brings us to Antananarivo, the real beating heart of Madagascar. It's this sprawling capital city of over 2 million people, dramatically built right across an amphitheater of hills. And what you really need to take away from this is the incredible resilience of the Malagasy people. Right outside the city, they've managed to carve the challenging highland slopes into these perfect geometric rice terraces. They're magnificent, shifting from emerald green to mere silver depending on the season. It's a massive showcase of human persistence in a really rugged environment.
And the surprise is, they just don't stop. Take Rova caviar, for instance. Madagascar is consistently ranked among the world's poorest countries, right?
Yet, from the highland waters of Lake Montezuma, they are producing Africa's first and only caviar, using imported Russian sturgeon. It's a completely astonishing contrast, and really a true testament to their ability to make the seemingly impossible inevitable.
Chapter 4. The Ocean Highway. So, we spent all this time looking at what millions of years of total stillness can create. But to really see how isolation works, we have to ask, what happens when we leave Madagascar behind? What happens if we follow the currents elsewhere? To answer that, we're going to follow some pretty magnificent travelers. 8,000. That's the number of kilometers humpback whales swim on their epic journey all the way from Antarctica to Madagascar's warm lagoons just to give birth. We're going to use these whales as our literal vehicle to cross the ocean, heading northwest toward our next destination.
Chapter 5. Born in Volcanic Fire, the Comoros.
Wow, the contrast here is just staggering. The Comoros are newborn lands. Instead of ancient forests, you have this chaotic, freshly minted geography. We're talking black volcanic sand on Chomoni Beach, which is literally fragmented lava from just centuries ago. You've got dramatic rock spines like Dragon's Back jutting right into the crystalline water, and these emerald lakes sitting impossibly close to the turquoise ocean. It is a landscape defined by constant, restless energy. And at the absolute center of all this restless energy is Mount Karthala, the sleeping giant. This thing is one of the world's largest active volcanoes, boasting a massive caldera stretching up to 4 kilometers wide. Crucially, though, it has rewritten itself with over 20 eruptions in just the last 2 centuries. The Earth here isn't a finished canvas. It is constantly and sometimes violently rewriting its own story. So, let's bring this entire journey into focus. On one side, we have Madagascar, defined by ancient stability, 88 million years of perfect isolation, and an absolute stillness that gave evolution the time to slowly craft bizarre, highly specialized creatures. But then, just across the water, the Comoros, newborn lands defined by constant change and volcanic fire. It is a stunning juxtaposition. One island spent millions of years perfecting the impossible, while the other is quite literally creating new ground in an instant.
Which leaves us with this final, profound question. We know what 88 million years of isolation did for Madagascar. So what unimaginable creatures will emerge when these baby volcanoes in the Comoros finally cool? What new impossibilities are waiting to be born over the next million years? It's a fascinating reminder that the Earth's strangest stories are still being written. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.